Namaskar and hello. How are you? I hope you all must be healthy and safe. So, last 2 weeks I told you two Hindi stories, and they were from my published book. And you all liked it, got some wonderful comments. Thank you so much. This week I'm going to tell you another short story. It's in English, and it's still unpublished. It doesn't even have a title. So, after hearing the story, if you like it, please suggest an appropriate title for this story, and I might use it as the title for the story. So, this story goes something like this. We hated the place since day one. We could never truly understand why our father took this decision. After living in the city for so many years, he used all his hard earned savings and bought a couple of acres on the outskirts of the city. His dream was to go farming after he retired. He still had many years to retire from his job, but he bought the land of his dreams now and built a nice house on it. It was surrounded by lush green forest at one end and a mountainous range on the other. But this house of his was a good 1 hour drive from the city center. Even the nearest sign of civilization was a good 15 minutes drive. All our friends, our life was left behind in the city. We didn't know if our mother was happy or unhappy with his decision, but she never showed any outward emotion towards it and solemnly followed him. I had recently graduated and was looking for a job. So, out of college, no job, no earning, I had no choice but to move in with them. My younger brother was in the last year of his graduation. He had the perfect alibi and moved in with some of his classmates. Every Friday night, my father picked him up while returning from his office and brought him here. Sometimes, on some pretext of an overdue assignment or some group study session, he opted not to come. I only knew what he was up to that weekend. That Friday was no different from any other Fridays we had spent there. At breakfast, my father asked me to pick my brother in the evening as he had to stay back late for work. Even though it was a drag traveling all that distance and then coming back, I didn't complain, as it was a golden opportunity for me to go to the city and meet my friends. It was also an opportunity to spend some time in the real world. I agreed in a jiffy and called my brother to tell him the good news. After some cajoling, he agreed only to come home if I allowed him to ride my motorbike while returning. I didn't want to, but had no other choice because if he had refused, this golden chance to get away from here would have gone up in smoke. Why are younger brothers such awful pests? Anyways, after lunch, I left for the city. I had already called some of my friends, and we had planned to meet at the mall in the evening. Around 8, I reached my brother's place. He was already ready with his overnight bag, which I knew contained his unwashed clothes. We were meeting after a couple of weeks' gap. Instead of hugging me, he just put his right palm out. Not now. After we cross the city, on the highway, I will give you my bike. Now wear the helmet and sit, I sternly told him. You always do that, he said with a frown and sat behind me. I smiled inwardly and drove on. Through the rearview mirror, I could see his cold up face as soon as our eyes met. He stuck his tongue out and turned his face away. I don't know why or if it is a universal phenomenon or not, but at any age, teasing younger siblings gives one an immense pleasure which cannot be truly described in words. Anyways, by the time we crossed the city limits, the traffic had slowed down and the air had become cooler. I felt a light tap on my shoulder. I knew what was expected out of me. I drove for another mile or so, and after a couple of more taps, I stopped at the edge of the road. But I didn't get off the bike. Instead, asked him to get down, and I slid back. He had a little difficulty getting on the motorbike. I even refused to hold his overnight bag, which he had no choice but to keep it on the fuel tank. I know, older brothers can be too annoying at times. By the time we were settled in our respectable, comfortable, and uncomfortable positions, it started to drizzle. By the time we were halfway, it started raining cats and dogs, and visibility also had become quite low. After going for another mile or so, the motorbike gave, after a few sputters, gave in and just stalled in the middle of the road. We both tried bringing it back to life, but it refused to bite from its motionless state. We had no choice but to push it off the road, and we rushed under the shade of a nearby tree. The road was deserted. Not a single soul or machine could be seen for miles. The air had become very chilly, and the rain was incessant. A strange mist was forming all over. We both, drenched from head to toe, were silently contemplating our next move. Except the sound of rain splashing on the fallen leaves, ground, and the howling wind through the rustling and bustling of trees, nothing else could be heard. We both could sense each other's uneasiness. Except for the lone street light, which seemed would go off any minute, the whole area was enveloped in a strange darkness. Finally, he timidly spoke. Dada, I'm scared. I was too, but to put up a brave front in front of him, asked him not to feel scared as I was there for him. But in reality, I think I was more scared than him. The whole surrounding reminded me of all the John Carpenter and Stephen King's horror movies I had ever seen. Behind us was this vast forest, and I knew if we could make past this forest, we would reach our house. If we trotted along the highway, it would have easily taken us nearly 2 hours, and if we were able to navigate correctly through the forest, I guess it would take us around 30 minutes, plus the trees would keep us mostly dry. I discussed the same with him, and he too agreed. But looking at the darkness of the forest made us rethink our decision. But we had no choice, and we bravely ventured into the unknown. The wind howled and blew a bitter chill past the trees. The forest floor was laden with fallen leaves, and the sound of rain falling on them was creating a very creepy rhythm. The tall shadows of trees created a sinister-like atmosphere. We tried to feel our way around the trees by running our hands on them, which created a tingling feeling all over us. We both were very sure that someone or something was watching our every move from behind the trees. We even felt that we were being followed. He was holding my hand, and his grip was becoming stronger by the second. We even thought of turning back, but we had already ventured enough that the trace of the highway could nowhere be found. We had no other option but to move forward. The mist, mixed with darkness, heightened some of our senses, which we had thought we never had. We were inching slowly and carefully. Suddenly, a massive thunderstorm shook the very foundations of the forest. The lightning for a brief moment lit up the dark forest in a hazy, paranormal picturesque. The looming trees seemed to be reaching out to us. The shallow branches were touching us lightly, just casually brushing past. The trees were alive. We could hear their shallow breaths. It was suffocating us. As we cautiously moved forward, something or someone grabbed my ankle. I shrieked, stumbled, and fell face front on the ground. I had bitten my tongue, and damp leaves were all over my face. The pain was so intense, and the metallic taste of blood filled my mouth. Only after I could locate my glasses, and with my brother's help, found the perpetrator. It was Root, which had left the confinement of the warm soil and was proudly peeking at the outside world. It made me feel like an intruder in its world. All of a sudden, we heard the rustling of leaves coming from somewhere behind us. We turned our heads and tried to locate the exact direction from where the sound was coming. But because of the darkness, it was very difficult to pinpoint the direction. We stood in silence for a few seconds. The rustling had become louder. Hello, my brother shouted meekly. No response. We again shouted, but apart from the rustling, there was no other response. It seemed as if someone was walking very fast towards us. We both looked at each other. Our eyes briefly met and understood what each of us were thinking, and we ran. We ran as if this was the last race of our lives, holding each other's hand, navigating through the thick and thin of the ominous forest, feeling our way, tripping, stumbling, hesitating at times. Without pausing to catch our breaths, we ran. We could sense that our pursuer had also paced up. He or it was matching every foot with foot and feet with feet. Through the dark bushes, it seemed our names were being whispered with utmost urgency. The rain was making our faces cloudy, or it was the constant tears being swelled up. We were not so sure. But it didn't soften our pace. Another loud thunder and lightly shook us from top to bottom. We paused briefly and looked over our shoulders. The ephemeral vision created by the lightning slowed our pursuer. He was just a few yards behind us. This motivated us to increase our speed. Right ahead of us, we could see dim lights. I elbowed him, and we both turned in that direction. We ran as fast as we could. We were nearly out of the forest and were running through a maze of farm. The distant lights had become brighter. It was creating a warm feeling all over us. It was coming from a cottage which seemed pleasantly familiar. We both simultaneously emitted a nervous laugh. Never in our lives we had been so happy to see our house. We both shouted, "Mummy! Papa!" By this time, we both had left each other's hand and were running feverishly towards the house. "Mummy! Papa!" We had nearly reached our doorstep, and suddenly the front mesh door swung open, and our mother rushed out. She hurried towards us and gripped us in a tight bear hug. Tears of happiness, being safe and contentness were flowing endlessly from our eyes. Never had we been so happy. Our pursuer had also followed us to our house. We again heard our names being called. But this time, the sound was familiar. It was Papa. "I have been calling out to both of you, but you didn't even stop for a second. Why?" "While returning from work, I saw your motorbike parked on the side of the road and realized that it must have stalled. I shouted your names and looked for you in every possible direction. Then I heard you scream and followed your voice into the forest. When I saw you both, I ran towards you, but we both started running in the opposite direction. Are you both okay?" We both looked at each other and rushed forward and hugged him hard. "Because of you two, the car is parked out there on the highway. Stop wasting any time here and get out. Go there, pick up the car and the motorbike now," he boomed in a loud voice. We both looked at each other and ran inside the house. So friends, this was the story of this week. And as I said, it doesn't have a title. So if you like the story, please suggest the appropriate title for this story. Share it with your friends. Give a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Be safe. Be healthy. Until next week, goodbye and Jai Hind.